Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Manchester City 5, Everton 0. The season is over. God. Joined by Kane. Oh, Pedro. Are you feeling any better?
I'm not asked. We're garbage.
No,
so
what's like? Have you given it any thought from when we switched the camera off
no,
yesterday?
honestly, I haven't. I have not barely thought about it once, honestly, because, like we said yesterday, there's a lot to do now, and you hope they're going to do it, and that's all you can. That's all you can hope. Listen, it was a horrendous game. 59 points is not the end of the world. It's not. It's not terrible. I think you said yesterday, it's the first time in ever a team's finished 10th with 59 points. Normally that would get you
typical Everton.
That would get you probably 7th or maybe around that. I suppose we all I suppose the game yesterday just highlighted what we all sort of know deep down, is that this isn't a very good team. It's not a very likeable team, which is weird because it's got individuals in it that we all sort of like, which is weird. But you put them together and they're just not a very likeable set of footballers. I don't know how that quite works. And
they're not a team.
Yeah, because they're not a team, and a lot of them don't show any effort to want to be a team either. There's a lot of individuals, and the club have got a lot of work to do now, and they shouldn't sugarcoat it. And let's see what happens. We've got a big summer ahead, we all know that. And as I said, I haven't really thought about it since yesterday because what's the point?
No.
Do you think they've been thinking about us?
No, not at all. They'll be on a private jet somewhere now, looking at the country.
Some of them were already on a private jet.
Yeah. Well, yes.
I mean, Kane, what's your thought process been since yesterday when, because we went into it. And as it happened, even if we'd have pulled off an incredible result and won, we wouldn't have got in Europe anyway because Spurs won. But, what's your overriding thought?
My overriding thought was that the damage was done against Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. The Wolves game had no pressure on it. We had fans there too. It was nice to get a win in front of fans. But for me, that was enough in game 2.
Yeah.
Because realistically, are we going to go to Manchester City on the final day where Aguero's last game, it was a pre-season testimonial. That's what it felt like. It felt like being in the sun, end of July, in a new kit, felt like a pre-season testimonial, mate, honestly. And once we went 1-0 down yesterday, it was game over for me. I had no hope before the game, I'll be honest. I had 1 or 2 pints and had a little joke on Twitter saying, we'll get Europe now, but nah. But that's the thing I took from it, is it's a big disappointment for me because we started the season so well. I remember us being halfway through the season. We all had a chat over Zoom at the time. And we were all thinking we were confident to get Europe and what would be the next step. But it's just deflating, isn't it? Yeah. Because we've had so many missed opportunities since the start of the year with the home games. And that Sheffield United game, that's what I keep going back to, mate. Already relegated side like that, and getting turned over at home to them, it's just embarrassing, isn't it, really? But what we need to do now, we need to go forward really and look what we need. I think it's clear as daylight what we need in the summer, and we go from there basically. But about the game yesterday, I'm not really that fussed. I'm not really that fussed about the game yesterday because the only thing I took from it is I love going on trips to Europe, usually been to Switzerland, Ped, Wolfsburg. We love it, we all live and breathe it, and it's a shame that we can't go and do that. I know it would have been up and down with the pandemic, but that's it really.
I think for me, it's like, I have thought about it since yesterday. And it's, I guess, we didn't learn anything new yesterday that we didn't know, did we? They're miles better than us. We knew that anyway. We know that we're not the most competitive team. And just having I had a conversation with someone this morning about an Everton player, what makes an Everton player. You know what I mean? And when you look at these players, you've just said there's some nice players in that team. There's like lads who you go, oh, he's good and he's good. But when you think back to David Moyes' team, and I go back further than that to Joe Royle's team, go back further again to Howard Kendall's team, the great side. There was always a work ethic about the team. And every successful team in my lifetime that I've seen, or a team that's been a good team to get behind and watch, has always had a work ethic in it from a core of players. And we were talking in the car on the way in about, like, there's players who maybe aren't as good technically as others, but they give everything so that you get behind them. There's not much to get behind this team, no. There's like, we're all made up with Ben Godfrey and being at the match on Wednesday and seeing him win tackles and the crowd loving it. But there's not enough Ben Godfreys in that team.
No, there's only one Ben Godfrey.
You know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely right. It's I seen West Ham, a little bit of West Ham just coming towards the end of the game and how easily they won the game, and seeing Moyes at the end, and it does make you feel like not like that we should have got Moyes back, but just that spirit hasn't been at the club. And I know we've gone on about Moyes quite a lot over the last few years, but for someone, when you're at the club, if you're at the club 11 years or whatever, you're going to leave a mark on the club, aren't you? And a mark on the fans, because a lot of people like you would have grown up watching all that. Yeah. And everything since it's just been a disaster. Let's be honest, it's been a disaster bar a couple of seasons. It's just been a disaster. And what you know, and it's why West Ham have got into Europe, is that you'll get every last drop out of players. And I think that is the difference between him and Carlo Ancelotti. I don't think Carlo Ancelotti can get the last drop out of every player, because he's not that kind of manager. Because he's just not. He's like the kind of manager that sets a team up, sends them out, and then it's on them then. Whereas we know Moyes used to be like, it's like he was playing the game on PlayStation as the game was going on. And I think that's the difference. And I think you do need a certain calibre of player for Carlo Ancelotti. Not sure whether those David Moyes players would suit Carlo Ancelotti, but you need something, and whatever the something is, Everton don't have it either way. They don't have good enough players who suit Carlo Ancelotti, and they don't have good enough players who would run through brick walls for their manager or the fans. And that's where we are at the moment. I heard the stats on Wednesday night saying that was the most Everton had run against Wolves all season. And
by far,
for 30 minutes we got legged.
I know.
We got legged. And it's like, that must be it then. So they're not. Yeah, you're right. They're not. There's no one stand out apart from Ben Godfrey, and that's why he does stand out. I thought he was horrendous yesterday.
Yeah,
I thought he was absolutely horrendous. But he's the only one. He stands out because he does have something about him. There's not enough of that. There's just not even enough of it. There's hardly any of it. And fans are just. We know what we want. We know what we like. We are I know every team are very particular. Every club's very particular. We know what we want, and we're not being saved by this team. And
onto the game. Everton actually started the game okay. We had a Calvert-Lewin chance early on, which I thought he did okay. We started to go back across Ederson, lovely ball by Sigurdsson. And we don't see that enough from Dom, do we? Them runs where he's in behind, because he's quick. He's quick, but that was a good move, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really good move, to be honest. He got in behind, but like we just said there, he hasn't done enough of that this season, though, has he?
No.
Let's be honest.
No.
But first 10 minutes was really good. I was happy, to be honest. We had the shape, it looked like almost like a diamond. I was really happy with it. But 10 minutes into the game, and then first goal comes, and you know what happens then.
Too easy, wasn't it?
Too easy. And let's be honest, I said to you before, it's like silver again for me in a way with these players. I'm not saying it's the manager, but when we go 1-0 behind, it's hard to turn a game around. The game's finished.
They stop believing.
And that's something what you've just said there, Ped. There's no heart or hunger in the team whatsoever.
But there's also no belief though. There's no belief in themselves. We were sitting here watching it, and when it went 1-0 down, and then it went 2-0, and we were sitting here going, these have abandoned everything that was good. It's like the man. This is what I'm saying about Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti probably sits them down, does meetings with them, a little bit of shape work, and sends them out. And then it's like, it seems to me it's a case of, it's on you now, the players. I've give you the information, because that's what a manager like Carlo Ancelotti would do, I would imagine, to the top players. He would just relay the information. Yeah. And then it's on them, because he's working with those kind of players. And after 10 minutes, I think, well, we both said it, we just went, you could see them, everything was abandoned. It was like at Old Trafford. Remember Old Trafford? It's the same. We started with a diamond, they went 1-0 up, and all the players just felt, wow, just started running everywhere. And it's the same kind of thing. And I think Carlo's the kind of manager who's like, well, I've give you the instructions. Like, what? I can't do nothing about this. Whereas, going back to saying about Moyes is someone who'd be in-game kind of thing, or other managers are in-game. Carlo's like, I've told you what to do.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do now?
He said,
and I don't know whether that, I honestly don't know whether that's going to work.
He said, didn't he, in his interview after the game, that he tried to push the team up a bit more than what he'd usually like.
Yeah.
But obviously, got hit on a counter-attack straight away off that, didn't we?
I mean, just for the first goal, Ned just put that up. The first goal is Kevin De Bruyne. And they work the ball, but it's nothing overly clever what they do. And it's the Corey actually who should be tracking De Bruyne, and he gets drawn to the ball, and it's a ball inside Tom Davies and De Corey. But once De Bruyne, and he slips here as well, by the way, before he gets it out of his feet. Michael Keane, I put the arrow there. Keane's got to go and close that space down. This is something we had to go with Seamus Coleman about against Villa.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm in a position here, so I'm goal side, I'll stand. No, step forward and make it more difficult for him. And you can't give the most talented Premier League footballer
How many times have you seen De Bruyne score a goal like that for Manchester City? Too many times, and I can't believe we let that happen. I really can't.
Holgate he's caught between the two because he's looking at Jesus over his shoulder and De Bruyne. But Keane has got nothing behind him.
No.
And the natural thing is to go and get a block on the ball.
Exactly.
And he stands off and you're 1-0 down. And like Ped's just said there, from that moment, game plan goes out the window. And then we see the second goal, which I honestly don't know what the hell Michael Keane was thinking of here. This is after he's lost the ball. He's facing their goal, and City have got the ball and are on the way back. What possessed them to try to dribble past four players?
It's just, you know what it reminds me of, right? We had the 6-a-side game on Saturday. It's like me carrying the ball out. Just don't know where I'm coming with it.
I'm just thinking I'm going past them.
But he's a professional footy player, and he's doing that at the Etihad.
It's Man City as well, who do not give you a second on the ball.
I mean, the first goal, all they've done is worked it between the lines. I mean, you can literally see the Everton lines.
Yeah,
that's what's hilarious.
There,
You can literally see the Everton lines on the first goal.
Popped it off
and the second one, I mean, how can Carlo Ancelotti stand there going, yeah, I've worked with some of the greatest centre-backs in the world, and this fella's trying to take on the best pressing side in the world.
With four of them running
through.
Do you think he would have been told that before the game or not? I know it's common sense, like, but come on.
But the thing about Michael Keane is Michael Keane's not the worst passer in the world. No. All he has to do is get his head up and just chip into a corner.
Why is he running with his head down? It's so basic though, isn't it?
It is so basic, and this is where, again, I think someone put a picture up on Twitter yesterday, and it was the team that got beat at Anfield, Silva's last game.
Oh yeah.
And it was like 9 of those players, or whatever it was, 8 or 7 of those players, and it was just like they're literally the same side.
Is that the 5-2?
Yeah, and I'm just like,
that's the thing though, isn't it? Yeah. It's like we've got to get behind Carlo 100%. Most people are behind Carlo, but these players are the same players that have seen off 3 or 4 or 5 managers in some cases.
Definitely.
But there's got to be a responsibility. Just playing football at any level, that comment comes in every time, doesn't it? Stay in the game. So you'd lose the first goal. Keep your shape. It's all things that you hear kids say, managers say.
It's no coincidence, is it? No coincidence that we keep getting linked with Koulibaly.
No.
Whether it's real or not, it's not crazy to think that he would want someone like Koulibaly, a leader at the back, who could trust to tell the person next to him, whoever it is, probably Ben Goffey, because imagine he went, well, I've got this 22-year-old kid and I've got one of the finest centre-backs in the world, that no one else really wants, and we're all sort of going, well, look at the age. But he ain't going to do that. He ain't going to do anything like that. Someone he can trust to play centre-back every single week.
We need consistent players.
Exactly.
And that's the problem.
Is he someone who you'd get, Kane, despite the age?
Yeah, of course. I get him, but as long as I know that there's going to be youngsters coming in behind them. Because I don't want it to be another summer where we're buying 30-year-olds and then suddenly we've got a squad full of them. We're getting a Koulibaly. I can afford 1 or 2 to come in. And I know we'll probably get 4 max probably in the summer. But if at least one of them's around Koulibaly's age, I'd rather it be that position, to be honest, because our centre-backs are too inconsistent, mate.
If there was one position that I would actually go,
it'd be that.
You know what? I would actually make an excuse. It would have to be someone like Koulibaly. It'd have to be like
of that quality.
Yeah, it'd have to be like someone that Carlo's like, well, he's a leader. and then I've got Alan in front, who's a leader, and then I've got a couple more who are leaders, because...
You know what though, right?
Crying out for it.
If Mina didn't have these injuries, right,
we've said
this season, I'd be more than happy to keep him, and I wouldn't really worry about Koulibaly, because I know that probably come in with a lot of wages and probably a big transfer fee. I don't know how long left he's got on his contract, by the way.
He's got 2 years, but they just missed out.
Like I said, I just want to go back to what you said before, if that's all right, about Moyes.
Go ahead.
Fans need to be patient with Ancelotti, I think, because Moyes got 10, 11 years at Everton. And Moyes, at first, imagine Twitter, when Everton finished 17th in the league.
We were literally, and you will know this, but we were talking about it in the game yesterday, and Moyes' second season, we got leg 5-1 at Man City last day of the season.
I was just about to
and
say
the performance was very...
And we lost our last 5 that season, didn't we?
Yeah.
We lost the last 5 culminating in that game.
Twitter then would have probably destroyed Moyes. Moyes would have probably been gone, wouldn't he?
He would have been gone. Fans would have put pressure on Moyes to go then. So I think, with what Ancelotti's done, we've got to give him... Let's not go back to talking about sacking managers.
No.
Do you know what I mean? These players have been here far too long. There's too many players we need to look at and we need to get rid of now, let's be honest. We need to start being ruthless.
People need to start earning the money in this football club. Because all I'm hearing is certainly, like you just said, social media there is about brands and about the manager. Well, what about the people above them? When are they going to start? Are they just sitting there going, oh no, it's all on you? When are they going to start earning their money? When are they going to start going, right, we've worked it all out, and you know, you can do this and do that, and we give you the power now to get rid of him and get rid of him? Because you're right, we have to start being ruthless. We have to start going, so, Gylfi, sorry mate, but you're earning a fortune in your last year, see you mate. Iwobi, we've got you a deal here, see you mate. Bye mate, Gomez. And just being absolutely ruthless and going, we're bringing him. You know, I've seen Phil McNulty there this morning, done a piece, he's done a review of everyone's season, and he said, Everton are great at shouting their mouths off about what they're really good at off the pitch. And in the last couple of weeks, they've been fantastic with the Super League. Oh, you can do all this and do that. So what else did he do? What else are the people at the top doing? They're doing nothing for this club. So this summer, Everton have to be ruthless. That starts with getting rid of Bill Kenwright, by the way. See you later, mate. You've done nothing for 26 years. Totally see you later, mate. You've done nothing for this club. So see you later, mate. Get a new chairman in who actually's got a voice and not just someone who's sits in meetings or something, I don't know, and just start being ruthless from the top bottom. If you want to run a club properly, be ruthless. That's what it takes, and that's not sacking the manager. That's doing things properly
to back the
manager. To say, right, we're getting rid of him. He's on this wages and he's costing a fortune. And I know the process has already started, but it just feels like it's on brands and it's on Carlo Ancelotti, while the people at the top just sit there and watch. What are they doing about this? What are they doing to turn this club around? Because all we're doing is we're just going to keep doing what we're doing every year, every single year.
I just want to say this, by the way, and this summer, can we please focus on the pitch, please? Because, and it sounds terrible, that it might sound terrible to other people, but we need to start focusing on what's going on the pitch. Because it's all right, like you just said, we're doing this well off the pitch. Fantastic, but we need to remember we're a football club.
We are a football club. I'm sick to death.
And it's our football club, by the way.
Kane, you might be a little bit worried about saying that. I am sick to death of hearing about Everton in the community, mate. I say it all the time, mate. We are not a charity. We are a football club. I am sick to death of hearing about what amazing stuff Everton have done.
No, hang on. No, let me just
go on.
Everton in the community is incredible.
And I was going to say
and
that.
What it does, it's world class. But it doesn't define.
It's got nothing to do with our football club. It's got. Someone asked me yesterday why I was obsessed about the charity. I said, you know what, mate? Go to an AGM, right? When you've had a terrible season and watch the way the whole thing is taken over by the charity. Oh, the charity did this and the charity did that. The charity's got nothing to do with the football club. They're two separate entities. They've moved the charity over to hide the failings of the football club, and I'm sick to death of hearing about it. It is not the football club. We hear more about our charity than any other club. We hide our failings. And it is a fantastic charity, and people do great work, and I will do whatever I need to do, and this channel will do whatever it needs to do to help them out, like we have done in the past. But it's a chat. We are a football club. They are separate things. Like you've just said there, stop going on it. The stadium now's all sorted, so let that start doing it.
I'm surprised it hasn't started building today, by the way. They've got all the first teams out getting the fish out the dock today. Start focusing purely on the football club and what it's going to do to turn it round. Because Carlo Ancelotti, like he said, he's not a wizard. He's not going to do it on his own. He's absolutely spot on.
He's not going to do it on his own. He needs everyone pulling their weight at the club, and that means focusing purely on football and where we're going as a football club. Because at the moment, I don't see any of that. All I see is talk of the stadium and talk of the Super League and what everyone else has done wrong that we would never do, and the charity stuff. There's no focus on what the football club and what the football team are doing, and that's where it's like you're removing the responsibility, but also the culpability of people. What? Excuse me, whoever you are on the board, what do you do? What are you bringing to the table? You know, what have you brought to the table? And then it all falls on Carlo's shoulders, and then it's all like Carlo out, Carlo in, whatever. And it just needs.
They don't talk to fans about what's going on the pitch, do they? Let's be honest. And I was thinking to myself, because on Friday night I sat and watched the awards, right? But my dad stopped going for a while now. And if I was watching it with my dad, right, and seeing Marcel Brands presenting rewards to people, right, my dad would have said to me, who's that? Who's that? Because he's not, he doesn't come out, you said it so many times on this show, haven't you? That he doesn't come out and communicate with what's going on. No. Because what I'd be expecting now is, we've just got beat by Man City today, well yesterday, 5-0. Marcel Brands should be out today doing an interview of what his objectives are this summer, what he wants to do, what positions he wants to bring into the club, but it will just be silence now. And then what will happen is, we're lucky we got the Euros to think about, but what will happen is it'll be nice and quiet for 10 weeks, and the fans will be left to think and worry about what's going to happen in the summer. Because that's what it's classic Everton.
Well, let's hope that isn't. Let's hope that isn't what happens.
You know what? And if it isn't what happens, fair play, but that's what's happening.
Well, history tells you that we do
that,
panic, don't we? We do leave stuff till very late, but hopefully, I've said it a million times that it's not difficult to see what a kid, a child, a 3-year-old can tell you what Everton need this year, because it's like, woo, it's a big alarm going off.
There's kids coming our coach when we go to the away games to tell you what we need, mate.
Exactly.
Because that's how much it means
and that's
to
that's
fans.
How easy, though,
there's people,
it is.
And, there's people at the club who don't really care as much as fans, let's be honest.
Let's
be honest. And but that's the problem, though, mate.
Yeah.
Fans stay up and think about these things at night. Yeah. They do.
Well, we
all talk about it at 1 a.m. sometimes, what's happening here, but they don't care. They go on when their hours are finished and where.
We haven't got, not everyone, there is some people at the
club. Oh, of course, there's some.
There'll be others who aren't bothered, but we do mull over everything. We do sit there and go, what about this? And it doesn't end for us, because it's our life. It's we're fan. Do you know what I mean? Other people can go, oh yeah, well, whatever. We're thinking, oh, we need this. We can't even put back-to-back seasons together to get in Europe.
Of course.
That's without even winning a trophy.
You know what was so frustrating to me though, right? We talk about wanting to get in the Champions League, wanting to play in it and all this, sign these boss players to play in the Champions League, but we're worrying about getting into a Conference League, let's be honest. If this was Arsenal fans talking about it, we said before, they're not bothered about not getting in the Conference League. But we're worrying and worrying about big things like that, getting into the Conference League, and we bottle it again. Do you know what I mean?
I think,
and I want to say, by the way, I don't want to sound all doom and gloom, because there's some positives from the season. I've got to be honest, 59 points on another season would have.
Well, we'll do that on the season. Yeah. Well, let's just go back to the game for a minute, because we had an opportunity right at the end of the first half to at least remind Manchester City that we were on the pitch with them. And it was a ball through to Richarlison, and a good turn of pace, actually, real direct run. Ruben Diaz brings him down, then Ederson catches him as well, and we get a penalty. And me and you were talking in the car about why Diaz wasn't sent off. I'm unclear, because others get sent off and they don't. But regardless of that, we had the opportunity to get bombed back in, and Gylfi's penalty's not great, is it?
No, it's
good height for Ederson.
Good height for Ederson.
But should he have been given the opportunity to take it again? Because there was clear encroachment in the box.
And Sky showing you it. So it was, definitely, because Walker blocks it, doesn't he? He's the one in the box.
And Fernandinho, I think it is about 3 foot behind him as he kicks the
ball. It is
Walker
who blocks.
It's Walker gets the block from Richarlison's rebounds, And you see that because John Stones runs over and grabs Walker, because otherwise it's across the box and we'd have had
But he was the furthest in the box, I think. I think he had a yard ahead of Richarlison too.
So it is absolutely...
And going back to it, it is a red card. I don't care what anyone says.
It is.
I know what the rule is, right? The rule is that if you attempt to play the ball and you bring a player down, it's not a red card. He was not trying to play the ball. He slides in and the ball is over there. He knows what he's doing. He's making it look like he's trying to get the ball, but he's not. He's going for the player. The ball is gone.
You know what though, Ped, right? What I thought was funny about it, Ederson takes him and all. He's sandwiched in the middle of them. Do you know what I mean?
But what's the point of VAR though, by the way? Yeah, what's the point of VAR?
Isn't it?
If and this is where, again, I look at our players and our players are soft, and I look at the club as being soft, is that when that happens, I know there's some, every single player should be round them. Every single outfield player should be round that manager, round that referee. Manager should be like that, get over to him. Because ultimately, if that goes 2-1 there, we've got a chance, we're back in the game, all right, small. But we all know that he was in the box. We all know 3 of them were in the box. VAR is supposed to eliminate that completely eliminate that. It's complete black and white. If that happens, VAR no, he has to take it again. It's supposed to happen every single time. And yet we just let it go and everyone else dismisses, like you said, oh, it's a testimonial, it's all right, let's get Aguero on to score some goals. And yet our players, again, I just feel like our players are too soft. Nice. Not enough of them are getting round going, what are you doing? Or getting over to the lines and going,
did they even check the red card? I don't know, did they check the red card?
I don't know. But I don't know if they check. You've got it.
I just know when Alexander-Arnold, the one at Anfield, they checked that for a red. And that was... I think Diaz was worse than that, because Alexander-Arnold was on the floor. And he knew what he was doing, don't get me wrong, he tripped him, but he was on the floor. But that one was more sinister. I think Diaz was one, but even if it isn't a red.
Richarlison was going to go round.
The encroachment though,
scoring opportunity.
They're in the box when he kicks the ball. I remember Andy Johnson having to take one against Metzel's car.
Even if Walker...
Years ago, he scored the first one, he made them take it again and he missed it.
Even if Walker's not in the box, the other fella is.
Fernandinho's in the box.
He's in the D.
And someone else is.
That's in the box, clearly.
There was a lot of City players in that box, wasn't there?
And they were looking whether Ederson's foot was on the line. You're like, no mate, his foot is on the line. But
just ignore all the players.
Ignore the players for that.
Yeah.
This is where they get away with murder. And this is where, again, it's that thing of like media. It's driven by the media, isn't it? So the media are like, well, it doesn't matter, does it really? You know, you're only Everton. And it's like, no, it doesn't matter. It should matter. It should matter in every single game. This is where the media drives everything now, where it's like, oh, don't worry about it. Like the handball against Sheffield United. Oh, don't worry.
Four in the last 5 games we've had.
The one against Villa.
Go against
the one against Villa.
It's a bit like our team, a bit inconsistent, isn't it?
For us, it's very consistent. For us, we don't get it.
Oh, I know.
Leicester got 2 penalties yesterday.
The thing is, though, I've always said to you two, I've never been a fan of VAR because it's not a perfect system, isn't it? Because it's judged by an opinion, and it's a human being making a decision. And on another day, a referee could give that as a red card. Let's be honest.
But the encroachment though shouldn't be an opinion.
It's in black and white.
He's in the box.
But that's what it's come to now, isn't it? With
that's
VAR.
Like, I don't need to check it.
It's like the handball against Sheffield United.
Yeah.
The lad's arm is out. Stop the ball going. If you hit him there and it's by his body, you can go, well, it's gone at his body, it's not handball.
They're thinking too much about the decisions, though, aren't they? They're overthinking the decisions.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But we missed the pen anyway and went in obviously 2-0 down. And come on in the second half, and I thought, whereas we'd had a little bit of a go in the first half, I thought we didn't offer anything in the second half.
Just wanted to be off the pitch, didn't we?
Yeah, it was just literally, they were like that, how long's left of this with the flip-flops on. Went 3-0 down, I think they had 2 plays in the box, we had 7, and Phil Foden just went, working on to me, like, and he is brilliant.
Easy goal.
But he just tapped it in, it was 3-0. And then the 4th goal, he obviously brought Sergio Aguero on. Then the 4th goal, and the ball's gone in off a throw-in to Tom Davies. And I've got the arrows up there. There's 2 options: Ben Godfrey and Michael Keane. And instead of it being sharp and getting it out of his feet, he hesitates. And Fernandinho doesn't do anything amazing. He just goes and presses him. nicks it, and then you 4-0 down. I mean, Holgate throws a little half-assed foot out as if to say, oh, go ahead.
Pathetic.
And Michael Keane doesn't close him down, and you're 4-0 down. And it is, you're right, at that stage, it was just like a testimonial. He'd scored the goal. I mean,
It's like watching a game.
I love Sergio Aguero, I love him. He's amazing. But it was like we just went to go ahead, just give him a goal. It was pathetic.
So easy, mate.
You know, and then the 5th goal, he scores not long after it. We'll put it up here. These are the two here. This is the aerial view, so Fernandinho, I think it is going to throw it in. Aguero's just between 2 defenders. Our defenders got Michael Keane and Ben Godfrey. Now, Michael Keane, I believe, should be marking his man, because Godfrey, there's someone further over than Godfrey, but he's miles away. I don't think it's Mahrez, whoever it is, they're out the way. It might be Foden or Sterling, but he's nowhere near it. So Godfrey can see Aguero. Yeah. Just put the other one on for us, Ned, just the side one. That's the ball's in the air. So Keane's out the game now, because he's not going to make that up. Godfrey's got to get closer. And it gives Aguero a header from the penalty spot. He heads it, don't get me wrong, it's a brilliant header, it's right in the corner. But if we just go touch tight, that isn't a header. And it's like, it's almost like, oh, I was going to do that, and it's in. It's like
you know what though, right? And you might disagree with this, but you know the second goal, right? Where Jesus gets it, Holgate's jogging back, and if he's sprinting back, he's right there for Jesus.
But also, Godfrey, he sends Godfrey to Tippy. Godfrey should be saying, go on your left foot then. He should be saying, go on your left foot then.
But that's the difference though, Kane. Man City players sprinting there.
Yeah.
Or Fernandinho for the 3rd, 4th goal.
Yeah.
Game's over. Game's over.
They've won the league and the game's over.
Game's over
and he's not giving a second.
That's the difference. Our players, Tom Davis receives the ball. It should just be bang, out and gone. Our players, it's all walking around. It's all just going through the motions. And this is not just because it's the last game of the season. This is all the games. Every game. How many times you watch Everton going, if he just makes a little sprint there, he does his job. Now, his job might just be, well, he's still got it because I haven't tackled him, but he'll have to pass it back. We seen bits yesterday. We had a corner, we ended up going back to Pickford. Why? Because every time they sprinted and it meant we knocked it on, sprinted, knocked it on. We just go halfway in and then they just go round them. And that's the difference. That's the difference.
That's what wound me up about that 5th goal and the 2nd goal. But that second one to be in particular though, because I honestly thought if Holgate sprinted every yard back there, he'd stop Jesus having a shot on his right.
And then you see these expressions on their faces, as in like,
what
more could I have done?
Hands on hips,
head down. What more could I have done? What more could I have done to stop that? We'll put a bit of effort in, mate, maybe.
Exactly.
For that goal there, Ben Godfrey's goes, get over there.
And he's got the pace to get there.
Well, the thing about it is, you don't have to beat him in the air. You just have to put him off. You just have to get your body over there and force. It's because that's a really difficult header. To get it right in the corner.
If
he just puts him off.
If he sees you out the corner of the eye, he might take his eye off it, and then it goes raw pick for
What you have to do is get closer in there, don't you? And don't get that. If he's close to him there, he doesn't head the ball like that. No, not at all. And the size of him, I know, compared to
it's just little things.
And the worst thing is, you get the feeling that those players would have come off, aired Spurs had won and gone, yes. Because it gets them off the hook then. Gets them off the hook as in, like, because if we had won and we wouldn't have made it anyway. So yes, they made it, and actually that's sound for us. Because that's the kind of sort of attitude that you feel from this team. It's like it doesn't want to go the hard way. We've said it loads of times. Well, Bats has said it loads of times. Do these players really want Europe? Did they really want to go to Thursday night and Sunday? Did they really want that? You know, it's just like, sequel, is it like, yes, made up. We get a longer holiday.
That's what it seems
We get a longer holiday. We can now go and have 4 weeks off and 5 weeks off and chill out and then come back, and we only have to play Saturday to Saturday. Made up.
Easy life.
We want it. We're desperate for it as fans. We're desperate for it.
But that's the difference though, isn't it? Some teams, some players, of teams want the challenge. They want it. They want to be there Wednesday night's Champions League football and then Saturday playing in the big games. They want it. Whereas some players, and we seem to collect them, don't want that because they failed and they know how tough it is and they know they've experienced that. And we've got too many of those players. We've got too many players who failed
to play in the Premier League.
They failed at other clubs.
They're
picking up the wages and they're happy. They're playing for a Premier League team and they come out now and again and give someone a hug or say something nice about this or that. It's too easy. We collect those kind of players. That's our problem as a club. We collect failures. And if you put a load of failures together.
Brendan Rodgers talking the other day. Going to talk about Leicester now. you know what Leicester's like, do everything right. And I heard them talking the other day, but it was about players, and it was like we've concentrated on players who are trying to make it.
Yeah.
You know, where he said, because he called them silver medalists, ones who've not quite, I know they might have been released by a club, or they've not quite had the journey that others have had, because by doing that, the heart's there for them, they want to achieve. And I think what Everton's have been guilty of since the money come is taking the other way, haven't they? You see, Moyes did it, but Moyes did it on a budget. So if you were coming to Everton because you hadn't really done it, like we got Pienaar who hadn't done it at Dortmund, it was come in and earn a better contract then, because we're not tripping in money, so we can't give you 200 grand a week to come and play for us, but we'll give you a chance to play in the Premier League and you can prove yourself. Arteta was another one, wasn't he? Tim Cahill was going the other way, he was trying to fight to play for the club.
Yeah.
You know, Martinez, I guess, had a little bit of that. We still didn't have loads of money, but it was for like Romelu Lukaku. It was like, we'll come and play games, and if you're good enough, you know, you'll move on to a bigger club, you know, but we're trying to get there. And I think since the money come, we've took players on the other side of the coin, haven't we? We've took players who have, you know, not really, are on the way down, if you like, or players who...
No, but you not,
because that's what's happened.
It's not one side. It's not one. Not everyone fits into this. There's not one kind of player in that category. There's players who'll fail at a club. You've got to find out why they failed. And as you just said there, you had like the Pienaars of the world who may have failed when he went somewhere, a bigger club for whatever reason, Arteta. But you've got to. It doesn't mean that they're a failure. You've got to work that out. Whereas we seem to collect. I don't think Mina's a failure. He came the same time as Gomez, but Gomez is a failure as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So they're not the same kind of player. Mina's got injury problems, so you can put that why he might have failed there, or he didn't suit their style of play. But Gomez is a failure. He is a failure of a footballer, as far as I'm concerned. He's had he come here and he had a big chance to show what he is, and he's failed. And they need to get rid of him. So you can't say they're all the same, but you're right. You've got to be able to distinguish. You've got to be willing to take that little bit of extra time to, and have the confidence that those players will come and play for you anyway. I think we jump in with 2 feet when we sign players, as in like, oh, if we don't get them, we'll miss out. And it's like, no, just take a little bit of time. Like, there's lots of footballers in the world, lots of good footballers in the world. Clearly, we know that because, I mean, Lille won the bloody French league yesterday when Paris Saint-Germain apparently have got all the best players. Yeah. So it proves that there's other ways of doing things. They've proved there's another way of doing things. We just collect failures, and that's one of them.
It's not even just failures though. It's what we give them as well. It's like like we got Walcott hasn't been here, and ironically we could have used him. I think this year we could have done with him, but he come in from Arsenal where he fell out the Arsenal team, and we're supposed to be competing with Arsenal, supposedly. Or, you know, Iwobi's another one, isn't he? Iwobi, he's had a lot of potential. Did all right at Arsenal.
Two different managers though who signed him. But no, that's the problem, isn't it?
I'm saying, so you get him, and then it's like he's on good money, but he's not doing nothing for us. And there's a few of them. It's like the money's there. Delph was another one.
Like you just said there, that should be like, well, if we're Everton and we're going to get like a player at Walcott, we go, sitting on the bench, want to come play footy? Sound. Yeah. We're not going to offer you mad wages. No. Because if you want to stay there on the bench. Fine. But it wasn't. It was like, we bid against ourselves all the time.
Let's go back to Koeman's second season. We bought 3 number 10s. Where's the plan behind that? Let's just hope there's a plan this summer.
Yeah, it's got to be.
We've got to start buying players who start games for us rather than these squad players. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the problem.
Other players, squad players.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Alex Iwobi, 35 million, and he was an Arsenal squad player.
Yeah.
Overpriced.
Yeah. One player I thought come out of it with a bit of credit, probably the only Everton player here. Maybe Nkunku come on was all right, I guess. Had a little goal, but
I mean, his ball to Carlo was
fantastic. Great first touch by Carlo.
Yeah.
But one player I thought did come out of it with some praise, is someone who's had a really good end to the season, was Jordan Pickford. So let's have a look. Saves in the box. I mean, we can see the 5, and he still made 6 saves in the penalty area. Punches 1, long balls completed 7 out of 20, clearances 1, interceptions 1, incredible, and aerial duels 1. Great winning headers. Should have been high claims, that not aerial duels, but fair play. Fair play. Now it's telling me it was a punch, so that's fine. But I think Pickford has really come back into the team for the derby at Anfield and was outstanding. And I think in general, since then, he's been in really good form. And again, he was the only one for me that came out of that game with any credit.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Personally, I've never been as big a fan, I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
But since he started that, after the Anfield win especially, he has calmed down a lot more. I think the defence now, that they can trust him a bit more. Because what it seemed like, especially at the start of the season, is you'd have your back four or back three, whatever it was, but they'd always be thinking about what's behind them. Yeah. But I think since he's come back from his injury, he's definitely calmed down, and he looks like a proper number one for once. It's like how he was in his first year, because I thought he was half decent in his first year. I know we had a bad season that year, but he made some big saves for us. And he's getting back into form, but what I would say is we are too quick as fans sometimes to jump on after, because he's had a good 3 months, he's brilliant, but I want him to have a good full season and then have another good season to make sure that that's our goalkeeper going forward.
For me, the biggest turnaround is we were sat here going, we need another goalie, I think.
This
one's all over the gaff. Where now, I don't think it's a huge priority. I think the number 2 will be important, whatever we do with that, whether it's Olsen or whether it's Sergio Romero. I think we need someone who'll push him, because I think it's no coincidence that since Olsen's been there and he looks and thinks, well, he could actually play. It's focused him, obviously, going to the psychologist, but he's had a good end to the season.
Been brilliant, been brilliant. He's been steady. That's all you can ask for, isn't it? Just a steady goalkeeper. He's calm, and he doesn't, like you just said there, it doesn't go out to other players. Then players think if he comes forward, he's going to take it. His kicking's been a lot better. Noticed that as well. So yeah, he's had a really good end of the season. Looks really focused. And whether it has been Olsen coming in, then that was really clever by Carlo to do that, dropping him now and again, but not saying he was dropping him. Saying
he never come out public and criticize.
No, he just said,
he just backed him.
He's always clever, the way Carlo said, we play with 2 goalkeepers, and now and again we'll do this and do that. So he's been clever the way he's done it. Never dropped, always backed him. And he's the least of our worries, I think, at the moment.
And he's become a dad as well, hasn't he? So sometimes that really focuses younger players. It gives them that. So he's ended the season really well, and hopefully he'll go off and have a good Euros, and then his confidence will be up for next season for us. Because you're right, Kane, it's not about doing it for 2.5 months of a season. It's about doing it for a full season, especially your goalie. You need your keeper to be steady. We've mentioned Mendy at Chelsea many times, just that he's not amazing, but he's steady, and that's made a big difference to them.
He ended at I think it was Silva's first season really well. Yeah. But then it went into the next one, and he just fell off the cliff again. So let's just hope he keeps it. Nice.
Well, that ending Silva's first season, was that the World Cup summer, or was that that was Silva's that started, but he hadn't had the break,
I think it was the year after. But he had the most clean sheets, or was he
was up like top 3,
top 4,
So that's what we need, don't we? And that's the thing, isn't it? Is that what we do from there? So let's have a look at the stats for yesterday. Don't make good reading. 21 attempts at goal to Manchester City, 8 for Everton, 11 on target for them, 3 for Everton, 5 big chances, score 5 goals, 1 for us, 67-33 in the possession, 725 passes to 340. So below the sweet spot.
Yeah, that's
why
we got B5 now.
Tells the story.
If we'd had a couple more percentage there, we'd have had the ball a little bit longer. It meant he wouldn't have scored. Possibly so.
There you go. I wonder what the XG was yesterday.
I don't know. There's no way of finding out. There's no way.
I mean, I could look, but I think it was probably...
Has there ever been a minus XG?
It was probably 6. Well, the big chances Will have meant it was there, wasn't it? So it was probably about 6-1. But there you go. That's the season is finished. Everton have finished it with a thumping defeat.
Hurrah!
But you mentioned like little positives or whatever. It was only Everton's 4th away defeat of the season.
Definitely.
And that's it. And that's the least I can remember in the Premier League. Us only losing 4 away games.
Improve our home form.
The home form horrific, but away form at least 11 away wins, definitely, 4 draws, 4 defeats. If we repeated that next year and improved our home form, then and 59 points, like we said, would have finished us a lot higher than we've done in the past. But it is what it is. Beating 5-0 the season is done, and the work begins now.
Yeah. Well, no, I hope the work began about 6 months ago.
So fingers crossed.
I hope the work's pretty much finished. I hope the work's done.
They're all the players in now.
Yeah, we're just
Get them all lined
get
up
them all lined
outside
up,
Bloor
lads.
Green Hospital.
That's it. Get them all
The
lined
medical
up.
in.
Yeah, as if.
I'm not.
As if.
I don't think so. I don't think so. So there you go. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Anything on the game. They were just too good, weren't they? They're a great side. Everton were poor, and what do we have to do now this summer? Big thanks to Kane. We're going to carry on now on Patreon. If you want to become a patron, the link is in the description. Otherwise, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And we'll see you later. So, there you go.